One day at the central bank, everyone there was super busy with their own stuff. There was the bank manager, Gordon, a computer techie, Mitch, a bank employee, Rex, a security guard, Mr. Clean, and two tellers, Caitlin and Madge. Before closing time, a customer named Trip came in. He didn't want to deposit or withdraw money, but he wanted to exchange $100 into coins with all different values. It was kind of weird, but Caitlin, being the good teller that she is, took care of Trip's request. While they were waiting, Trip chatted casually and asked Caitlin when she was planning to tie the knot, pointing out all the wedding gifts behind her desk. Madge, who had been listening in, suddenly blurted out that Caitlin was getting married in 2 days in Brunei to a wealthy guy. At the same time, 3 super-skilled robbers, Gates, Weinstein, and their leader Darian, had a solid plan to empty the bank's safe. They dressed up as construction workers, snuck in through the rooftop, and deactivated all the alarms. But their plan got messed up when 2 dumb robbers, Billy and Wyatt, showed up wanting to rob the ATM. Darian and Gates faced off with the 2 robbers. Tripp saw that a shootout was about to go down, so he dove behind Caitlin's desk to shield himself, Caitlin and Madge. Caitlin couldn't sound the emergency alarm or call the cops because Gates had turned off all the networks. Then a heated argument broke out between the 2 robber groups. Gates made Mitch lock all the doors using the system. Then a customer got shot and nobody knows who did it. This led to a shootout between the 2 groups of robbers once the exit was closed. Tripp used his phone to talk through the loudspeakers and beg for the shooting to stop so he could check on the customer who got shot. Sadly, the man had passed away. Realizing that the 2 robber groups had different goals, Tripp suggested that they wrap up their own deals ASAP to avoid any more drama. So they decided to split the cash. Darian and his crew ransacked the safe, while Billy and Wyatt hit up the ATM. Then they rounded up the hostages, took their phones, and sealed up the place so nobody could snoop on the heist. Darian even put a picture of the bank at the entrance to make it look like nothing went down inside. Weinstein said to the hostages that they had to stay in the room until the bank opened the next morning. By that time, the robbers would have taken off. They could call their families once to let them know they were okay and couldn't come home that day. This was so no one would guess they were being held against their will. Everyone got in touch with their families, even Caitlin, who called her fiancé to let him know she wasn't flying out that night because her mom was sick. Tripp, on the other hand, didn't reach out to anyone since he said he lived by himself. After Darian finished drilling up the safe door with a welder, it was Gates's turn to use his fancy tool to crack it open. Meanwhile, Tripp found out the name of the customer who got killed, Jack, because he had taken his wallet earlier, but he got a weird feeling about Jack's death because the robbers weren't supposed to shoot hostages unless it was really necessary. When Tripp found no bank cards in Jack's wallet, he got even more suspicious, especially after seeing Jack scoping out the bank. Who knows what his real plan was? Tripp was trying to escape by climbing through the ceiling, while Billy and Wyatt were attempting to blow up the ATM. The explosion was so big that it broke the glass door to the hostages' room, caused Gates's computer to short-circuit, and sent Tripp falling into the next room. Thankfully, Gates' computer was still running, even though they had to restart the safe opening process, which took about an hour. Gates was really annoyed with Billy and Wyatt for slowing them down, so they decided to scare them by shooting Wyatt's ear. Because the room where they were keeping the hostages got wrecked, Gates then took the hostages to the manager's room, even Tripp, who was trying to talk things out with Darian. Tripp, who was really good with numbers, had a feeling that the computer guy Mitch might be in cahoots with the robbers. He noticed that when Mitch had the chance to make a call, he only pressed 10 numbers, even though real phone numbers have 11. Looks like Mitch was faking a call to his wife. Tripp was certain that Mitch had leaked the info about when the bank security system would glitch out for a sec when the computer rebooted every day before closing. He thought it was possible that Mitch sold the details to one of the 2 robber gangs for some cash. Finally, when he was faced about it, Mitch confessed that he did sell the info. It was just a one-time thing because someone offered him money, but he had no idea who bought it. On the other hand, when Gates tried to open the safe door, it turned out that there was another part that needed to be drilled deeper, which would take 1 to 2 hours. This caused an argument between Gates and Weinstein, but Darian eventually stopped it. Weinstein was frustrated with all the obstacles they faced during the robbery, from the old safe to other rival robbers showing up. Meanwhile, Billy and Wyatt were still attempting to break into the ATM because the previous explosion didn't do the trick, as the ATM had 2 layers of protection. Not long after that, Gates showed up and they argued about who the FBI's top bank robbers were to prove how well known they were. Gates then pulled up the FBI's most wanted robber fugitives website. The number one spot was held by a dude named Vicelis Drum, who had pulled off a bunch of robberies and even off 20 people in the process. Coming in at number 2 was Mick Nylon, followed by Alexis Black in third. These three top robbers were still flying under the FBI's radar because they were so good at what they did, while Darian and Weinstein, who had been partners for 15 years, were in 12th place. Gates, the new guy, was in 68th place, but he was ranked 4th in digital fraud. Meanwhile, Billy and Wyatt were way down at 674th place. As Darian kept drilling holes in the safe, Weinstein was asked to escort the hostages who needed to use the bathroom. When Tripp and Caitlin were taken, Tripp stumbled upon a pair of night vision goggles that could help them see in the dark. He quickly stashed them away. Next up were Mr. Clean and Mitch. Mitch got sick to his stomach, fearing he'd go to jail for leaking important bank info. Weinstein took Mitch to the kitchen to find medicine, while Gates took the other hostages to the bathroom. Meanwhile, Billy and Wyatt asked a hostage for help in activating the bomb at the ATM. Tripp volunteered to do it because he wanted to search Jack's body for more clues. When Billy hit the detonator, the bomb didn't go off, which really pissed him off. Then Tripp found a gun in Jack's pocket and realized he wasn't just a regular customer. That's when he remembered Jack's earlier shooting. Because Tripp had a gun, it freaked out the robbers and they told him to drop it right away. When the gun was passed to Darian, he checked it and saw that it was an FBI standard issue. When Tripp heard this, he figured that Jack showed up because he got a tip about the robbery that was going down. Tripp started thinking about what happened when Jack got shot. Gates, Darian, Billy, and Wyatt were all pointing their guns at each other, and Jack was far from them, not even in their way. It seems like Weinstein from the second floor was the one who shot him. Then, the bomb at the ATM suddenly went off because the trigger was delayed. It's a shame because all the money in the ATM got destroyed in the explosion. Darian and Gates were looking for Weinstein, but they found him dead in the kitchen along with the computer tech Mitch. It looked like they shot each other. After Darian and Gates left, Tripp found a clicker in Weinstein's mouth, which the robbers used to get in and out of the building. Darian was done with the situation and was about to bail on Gates and run away. But since he lost the clicker, he had to improvise and bust through the walls with his welding equipment to make his escape to the roof. Just as he was about to do it, the tank exploded and he went flying in front of everyone, all flamed up. Everyone was shocked to see it happen so suddenly. Gates decided to team up with Billy and Wyatt. He told them to put the hostages back in the room. He planned to crack open the safe again, but since he didn't have a welder, he would use Billy's explosives instead. On the flip side, Tripp tried to escape by going up through the ventilation, but he got caught by Wyatt. Tripp then explained that someone had tampered with a bomb detonator to delay the explosion, meaning there was someone out to get Billy and Wyatt. Wyatt revealed that they robbed the bank after getting a tip from Vicelis Drum, the top FBI fugitive, about when the bank's security system would be down. They were also unknowingly hired as decoys by Vicelis Drum for a big heist, but they never knew who he was. While Gordon was talking to Caitlin, he mentioned that he thought Rex was in cahoots with the robbers because he saw him measuring the safe a few days ago. Then Gordon passed out because of his diabetes, and everyone freaked out and tried to find his insulin. On the other hand, Wyatt realized that Tripp swiped his gun when he wasn't paying attention. After Gordon got the insulin shot, he started feeling better. Then Tripp helped him up and suddenly used the gun he took from Wyatt to scare the robbers. He asked Gates who gave him the order to rob the bank. Gates revealed that they were told by Vicelis Drum. Tripp then gave the gun back to Wyatt and returned the clicker to Gates. The hostages were really freaked out when they found one of them dead and a message in her bra. Turns out she worked at another bank and Vicelis Drum had told her to come to this one. Tripp finally figured out that these weren't just regular robberies. They were planned out. Gates put a bomb in the safe door. Then Tripp told him that Vicelis Drum was the one behind it all. According to Tripp, Vicelis Drum was in deep trouble and was killing people who were connected to him to cover it up. Tripp started explaining his theory. It seemed like Jack from the FBI had been after Vicelis Drum for years until he finally figured out that his target was in the bank. Mitch once helped as Vicelis Drum's hacker. The dead woman worked for another bank and was helping Vicelis Drum with money laundering, and the two gangs of robbers were connected to Vicelis Drum because they had done work for him in the past. Tripp figured out that Vicelis Drum had actually been the killer all along. He made it seem like the deaths were accidents or that the victims had killed each other. Weinstein was ordered by Vicelis Drum to kill Jack, and then Vicelis Drum set it up to look like Mitch and Weinstein had killed each other. Vicelis Drum rigged Darian's welding equipment to explode, and he had the woman killed because she knew about his crime. He was planning to kill the others so there would be no witnesses. Tripp knew Drum was involved when he found a clicker in Weinstein's mouth, which he probably hid to prevent Vicelis Drum from escaping the bank. Gates didn't buy the crap. He eventually managed to blow up the safe door and found a ton of cash inside. As Gates, Billy, and Wyatt stuffed the money into their bags, the hostages sneakily grabbed the robbers' weapons. But instead of confronting the robbers, they planned to make a run for it with them because they were scared of getting killed by Vicelis Drum. Tripp said it was pointless because Vicelis Drum had hidden the clicker's battery and they wouldn't be able to escape from there. All of a sudden, Caitlin whipped out a gun and pointed it at Tripp, accusing him of being Vicelis Drum because his behavior seemed fishy from the start. Everyone joined in and started accusing him too. Tripp tried to run up to the second floor, but he got shot in the hand. After slapping some duct tape on the gunshot wound, Tripp quickly switched off the power. In the darkness, Vicelis Drum, already sporting night vision goggles, took out Mr. Clean and Gates. Panic ensued until Caitlin managed to switch the power back on. Tripp said he shut off the power on purpose because he knew the sneaky Vicelis Drum would grab the night vision goggles in the upstairs bathroom to do some shady stuff in the dark. And sure enough, Vicelis Drum went in there, and Tripp saw with his own eyes that Vicelis Drum was actually the manager, Gordon, pretending to be someone else. Turns out his manager gig was just a front. Everyone had Tripp's back as they aimed a gun at Gordon. With nowhere to go, Gordon offered $2 million to each person, but Caitlin turned it down. Knowing Gordon would shoot, everyone fired at him, leaving him dead with bullets all over. After Gordon kicked the bucket, Tripp handed over the clicker with batteries to Billy and Wyatt so they could make a run for it from the bank. And to top it off, Caitlin allowed the two robbers to snatch the bags of money they had stashed earlier since all the cash in the bank was covered by insurance. In the morning, the cops, ambulance, and news people showed up. Tripp, who had been patched up, confessed to the cops that Billy and Wyatt had taken all the money. Meanwhile, Caitlin was getting ready to leave to meet her fiancé, so the cops helped her lug her wedding presents. When Caitlin hopped in the car, Tripp was already in there. He knew that the wedding gift boxes actually had bank money in them. Turns out Caitlin was planning to rob from the get-go, pretending to marry a guy, but really using it as part of her escape plan. At first, she was aiming to grab a bunch of cash when the security system was down, but then two gangs of robbers messed everything up. Luckily, when Tripp cut the power, she quickly swapped all the money from the robbers' bags into her wedding gift boxes and replaced it with a bunch of magazines. Tripp really admired her smarts and confessed that he was smitten with her from the moment they met. He suggested teaming up to pull off another bank heist, saying they would make an awesome duo. Caitlin was all for it since she had feelings for Tripp too. And then she dropped a bombshell. Her real name was Alexis Black, the FBI's third most wanted. On the other hand, Tripp could be Mick Nylon, the second most wanted.